Say excuse me. Say excuse me. Okay, let's see if we can get this started. Welcome back, y'all. Good morning. Today's video is on our 6-month update, postpartum update, and baby boy's 6-month update. I wanted to wait until today because we are actually right in front of his pediatrician's office. I wanted to get all of his measurements and go over a few things with the pediatrician and then give y'all an update once I have some information. Yeah, I'm gonna wrap this up because he didn't like sitting in the car. So I'm gonna get with you guys and get into this update in a minute. All right, guys, I'm back. Made it back home from baby boy's appointment and it went really good. He had a 6-month checkup today, and this will also be a 6-month update on myself. And I'm gonna add a little twist at the end that I think will be fun, but we'll get to that in a sec. So I'm gonna get started with baby boy's update. Before I do that, for those of you who are new here, because I do have some new people here that have joined my channel, who have become a part of my community. I'm super excited to meet you guys. I'm super excited to have you here. So please don't be shy. Feel free to introduce yourself in the comments. Say hey, shoot me a message. I always keep my email, my Instagram, all that information plugged down below in the description of this video. So comment, like, share, and hit me up. I'm nice. I like to talk. So, but for those of you who are new, my name is Vakisha. I am 35 years old, about to be 36 on March 1st. And you know, I'm excited about that. Pisces, gang, gang. And I have 6 kids. I have 5 girls and I have 1 boy. My last child was obviously my little baby boy. So yeah, I just wanted to let you know all those deets before I got into this video. Again, you want to keep all of that in mind for the end of the video. So getting started with baby boy, he is 6 months old. He was born on August 14th, 2022 via C-section. And he's just been thriving. Aside from having a little bit of reflux and having a little bit of tracheomalacia, like a mild case of tracheomalacia, he has been doing great. The only thing that we have been kind of keeping an eye on with him is his weight. His weight had dropped down to the 9th percentile. Once it gets to like the 6th or 7th percentile, then that's when the pediatrician starts to, like, you know, get a little bit worried because you want your baby to thrive. But the thing about it is with my kiddos, they are all really tall. For those of you who are not new here, y'all know that my kids, well, my oldest, she towers over me. She's 14 years old. She's 5'9", 5'10" now. So she towers over me. Ain't nobody scared of her, okay? Farron, if you're watching this, ain't nobody scared. Aaliyah, she's my 8-year-old, and she is almost my height, y'all. I will insert a clip of her here or here. Just all my kids, they're just tall. So with that being said, he was down in the 9th percentile for weight, but for length, he was up in the 85th percentile, 84th, 85th percentile. So that made the pediatrician say, you know, okay, well, that kind of balances things out. And she's familiar with all of my kids. She's a pediatrician for all of my kids. So she knows them. She's been their pediatrician for like 4 years now or something like that. So she already knows that this is just a thing with mine. But again, we kept an eye on baby boy. He is still breastfeeding. We did add formula because my supply could not keep up with him. When I tell you this little boy's feeding demands were just crazy. With all of my girls, I breastfed, and with the last 2, I had an oversupply. I gave milk out to other mamas in the community. I had a huge storage where I was like actually using the breast milk as like ointment for the face and in the tub and things like that. So not this time, honey. I don't know if it's because I went back to work like right at 6-7 weeks, where with the other 2 I was home for a little while, but it was not the case. I truly think that it was really just due to me not being able to keep up, my body not being able to keep up with his demand. Supply and demand. Demand was real high, supply was not low, but because he was getting what an average baby should get for his age at all times, but it was like he wanted more than that. So anyway, so we added formula, and we doubled his calories. And so at his 4-month visit, he was 13 point something pounds, which is low, but he was, like I said, in the 85th percentile. And then the pediatrician brought him back in for a 5-month weight check, and he had gained 2 pounds. He was 15 pounds, 15 and some change, honey. I can't remember the number. It's a lot going on right now, okay? And so now we just had his 6-month update, and he was the same weight, and he's gone up an inch. So it's like he's growing an inch a month so far, and it's just nuts. So again, lightweight, but super thin right now. But super tall right now. So again, she's not too worried. We'll keep an eye on it. We are a little concerned about allergies with him. He's doing a lot of sneezing. He just got his 2 front teeth. He has a 3rd one coming in, and those are all at the bottom. And he's drooling a lot, and he's sneezing a lot. No fever, no other symptoms. So we're kind of paying attention to see if these are actually allergies that are starting up with him. So I'll keep you guys updated on that. I never dealt with such a little one with possible allergies, so we'll see. Yeah, that was really it for his visit. Everything else checked out just fine. He is starting to scoot. He gets up on all 4 right now. And right now what I see him doing is trying to find the balance, you know, that, you know how you see them kind of lean on one arm or one leg. They're lifting it to try to check out the weight balance in order to crawl. That's where he's at. So he gets on all 4, he rocks back and forth. And now in this last day or 2, he's starting to lift his hands like he's going to crawl, but he doesn't actually do it. But I would not be surprised if in the next week or so, next week to 2 weeks, he'll be crawling, because he's definitely exploring how to shift his weight. The boy is crazy. You put him on the bed, and I'll insert clips throughout this video, but you put him on the bed and he's rolling back and forth. He is in a walker. I know the pediatricians go against that, but you know, I just chose to do a little something different with my last, and I went back to walkers, and he moves backwards in it. It's not negatively affecting him as far as I can tell, and I feel comfortable doing that. So he has a jumper, he has a walker, he's good in all of those. He's about coming out of the swing. I think 6 months, correct me if I'm wrong down in the comments, but I think about 6 months is when you start to get out of the swing, the baby swing, because when he gets upset and he wants to move, it becomes actually a little dangerous, the way that he's flipping his body, and I'm scared for him to fall. So that swing, unless he's not really in it, unless somebody is sitting right there in front of him, I have started using it to feed him, because he has started solids. I am not baby-led weaning this go round. I tried that one time, and that was with my last kiddo, Coco, and I didn't really like it. I don't know. It just wasn't for us, you know? So we tried it. That wasn't for us. So with this baby, he is getting purees and baby oatmeal, and he loves it. He's taking it down. So he's having about 3 jars. He eats when we eat. So he gets a baby jar of baby food, a jar of baby food. Y'all forgive me, it's been a long day. A jar of baby food at each meal. And then he follows that up with 4 to 6 ounces of milk. And then he has about 8 ounces for his last bottle before he goes down to bed at 9:30. He gets up at 1:30, 2 o'clock, and I will latch him on. He's still breastfeeding, and he will empty my boobs. Well, really one boob. He only feeds on my left boob. He wants something to do with the right, never has, but he empties my left boob and then he still wants more. So we do another 4 to 6 ounces. So I'm guessing he's probably getting about 2 ounces, 2 to 3 ounces when he breastfeeds. So, and then he goes back to sleep, and then we wake up and we start with baby food. So that's where he is with that. Like I said, 2 teeth, has a third one coming in. We're not cloth diapering. We chose to just X out of that. My last 2, Maya and Serenity, they cloth diapered pretty much for the whole first year. Well, for almost 2 years. I think with, if I'm not mistaken, with Maya, she went until 18 months, and then she showed some signs of being allergic to the material. She was getting really bad rashes. I stripped the diapers. I got new diapers. Nothing really seemed to help, and I'm not gonna put my child through that type of pain because that's painful. And then with Serenity, that started more closer to a year. So she's been in regular diapers for a while. We still have the cloth diapers on hand just in case we need them in an emergency type situation, but we don't use them. They're all packed up. We've given a lot of them away. We have a very small stash just in case. And then with this baby boy, he has tried cloth diapers maybe around 2 months I started, and I just wasn't feeling it. You know, I just was not feeling it this go round. So we've been in regular diapers. Outside of that, he is good. When he was born, I don't know if I talked about this in the last visit, but around his 2 month, the last video, the last update, but when he was 2 months, he had a encephalotoma. I'll put the name below or up here somewhere, but it's a little knot on the head. It's fluid collected under the scalp, and this is usually from pressure against the uterine wall, which he was pressed against my uterine wall for weeks. From 32 weeks to 38 weeks, he was like literally pushing against my cervix. So was not surprised about that, but that bump has gone down. Hopefully it will disappear completely by a year, but the doctor keeps checking it and everything is checking out to be fine. So that is the update on my little guy. He's doing so good, and I'm really enjoying having him be a part of our family. He's just really the last piece to the puzzle. He fits in perfectly. His sisters love him, especially Serenity. She absolutely adores him. Actually, she thinks he's her child, and we fight a lot. And I don't know how to tell sis that that's my son. That's my son. You should see, like, she gets an attitude when he's crying. She gets very upset, not because she's annoyed, because we need to fix it. She doesn't want him crying because that's her baby. In the mornings when she first sees him, she's running to him. She's ticka, 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 which is hilarious to hear a 2-year-old doing that, but she adores him. So he's good, and yeah, that's that on him. Now on to me. 6 months postpartum, how do I feel? I feel like I am finally coming out of the fog, kind of, sort of. I feel like once you have a baby, you're kind of in a fog for like the first year. Lack of sleep, hormones just everywhere. You're trying to figure out a new schedule, this new norm, especially if you have multiple kids. It can be a lot if you don't stop and really be present in the moment and really think about yourself and what you need, which is very hard for us as mothers, because when we have kids, it's all about the kids. And when you have a new baby, it's definitely all about caring for that new baby, doctor's appointments, all the new milestones, making sure they're hitting those milestones. We're not going to even discuss the anxiety and postpartum depression or baby blues that you might experience. So anyway, I feel like I'm starting to come out of the fog. I did go through a little postpartum depression. I never started the medication for it. I kind of just turned to my community. My group of mama friends were amazing. with helping me through that, and still are helping me through that. Just digging a little bit deeper spiritually and enhancing my relationship with God and leaning on Him through the tough times, the tough days, and just really trying to focus on me in order to get myself through that. And it's been successful, and I wasn't sure if I was going to need to turn to medication, and I was down for turning to medication because it wouldn't have been my first time needing medication to get through postpartum depression. But this time, again, like a few other things, I tried to do something a little bit different, and it was successful. So coming up out of that, my C-section incision is good. It still feels a little tender. I definitely need to be doing more massages on it. I'm feeling it right now and it's kind of tender. Definitely need to keep doing massages on it. I did get my cycle back. I talked about that in a few of my other updates. I got my cycle back around, I believe it was about 6 weeks. She's very regular, but she is very, very heavy like the first 2 days. That is something that is different. I did have a tubal removal, and I will make a separate video for you guys if you're interested in my experience with that. I did have a tubal removal. It wasn't just like a smooth, clean cut. So like I said, if you want to hear more about that, I will be happy to make a video about it. But yes, my cycle is very regular. As of today, this month I actually got my cycle almost a week early, about 4 days early. And in my calendar today, it states that I'm supposed to ovulate in 3 days. The reason I looked at my app and I know that is because I'm feeling those twinges down there. In that lower part of my abdomen, I have a little bit of pain, and it is very reminiscent of ovulation. So gonna take some Tylenol actually in a little bit because it's very uncomfortable. So, but it's been going good. Like I said, breastfeeding, he's really just latching right now. We're really about to come up on the end of breastfeeding. I think that we're just gonna have a shorter journey. And although it was a little bit shorter than my last 2, it was still longer than my first 2. And it was still very much so a very beautiful journey. And I haven't posted as much as I usually do about breastfeeding, or like what I did with the other pregnancies. But it's definitely still going, and I've just been really, really busy. You would think what's one more as far as kids, but yeah, 5 to 6 changed the dynamic a little bit, especially when you add back in that I am back at work at the hospital. I work nights, and I work 12-hour shifts, 3 12-hour shifts per week overnight in the ER at the hospital. So yeah, but yeah, we're probably coming up on the end of that. I'll keep you guys updated. I'm not quite sure just yet. As far as my weight, I am still about 20 pounds larger than what I would like to be. No, let's just keep it a buck. Probably more like 30 to 35 pounds larger than what I would like to be. But also with that, if it makes any sense, I'm comfortable. Not comfortable, complacent. Comfortable as in I'm loving on myself and I'm not, down on myself about it. I am still getting ready to go into a health journey. I'll be going off of social media for the next 2-3 months or so while I just really hone in and focus in on my body and feeling good again, because I don't feel super comfortable with this weight. But like I said, I've been doing a lot of internal work, so I feel comfortable with me, which doesn't it's all a connection. So if you do the work on yourself, even though you physically may not be where you want to be, it makes you more, it doesn't take away from the love you have for yourself. So that's what I mean when I say I'm comfortable, but I'm not complacent. I do want to lose that weight. I will lose that weight, and I will keep you guys updated. And even though I'll still be making YouTube videos, even though I'm off of social media, but I'm also going to be filming my weight loss journey, but it will not be in real time when you guys see it. It'll be after the work is done, because I really just want to focus on my health. So yeah, that's really it. That's the update on me. Before I end this video, I wanted to go over the differences that I experienced between being pregnant with girls and being pregnant with a boy. Now, let me just preference this. If you are watching this and you are currently pregnant, waiting to find out the gender, if you are planning to become pregnant, please don't use this to get your hopes up to point towards one gender or the other. At the end of the day, there is no sure way other than an ultrasound or a blood test. This is really just all in fun. I had people ask what are the differences that I experienced, and what did I do different to become pregnant with a boy, which y'all know this pregnancy was not planned, so can't really get into that. I mean, well, I guess I could get into the details because I definitely know when he was conceived, so that might be a little TMI though. I don't know if I want to get into all of that, but I definitely remember the night. If you want to know those details, hit me up privately in the DM, okay, on Instagram, or shoot me an email on here. But anyways, so let's get into the differences. So y'all know me, got my handy dandy notebook, so when you see me looking down, that's what I'm doing. So the first symptom that was different between the girls and my boy is, with my boy, I had very scant CM, meaning little CM, cervical mucus. When I get pregnant, I always know before I test by my cervical mucus, because it is in abundance, like crazy. And yeah, let's just say I'll be like, yo, I'm pregnant, and it's always correct. But with this one, I had very little CM. So the second thing that was different was I felt very normal. I didn't have any of those early symptoms that most of us experience in the first few months of pregnancy. Actually, for most of the days I was forgetting that I was pregnant, and it wasn't until like I would get home, or I would get tired, or I would get hungry, and it would be a very specific craving that it would occur to me like you're pregnant. I don't know if it's because I was just so busy. Again, like I said, at work, working in the hospital, you're on go, 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 go. So I don't know if that was it, but I felt very, very normal. My HCG levels were very slow to rise. With my girls, the first time I got my blood test done, my HCG levels at a very early point were super high to where doctor was like, we need to make sure this is not twins. With this one, like if you watch my videos, I actually got a positive pregnancy test, and then the next following morning I got a negative test. And then I ended up going to the doctor and getting my test done, and my HCG levels were very low based on my last menstrual cycle. So my doctor was concerned that I could possibly be miscarrying again. And turns out, nope, they were just something that was different for me with being pregnant with a boy, low HCG levels, but healthy pregnancy. The next thing was I had a very low appetite starting at 5 weeks of pregnancy. Very, very low appetite, like didn't even really want to eat. Very different than with my girls. With my girls, maybe whatever was in my path, I wanted to eat, and I did. So yeah, that was different. I had extreme fatigue, like could barely keep my eyes open. Was not the same with the girls. I was very, very tired. Probably, especially like around 12 weeks of pregnancy. Baby, count me out for the day, because shout out to my husband, because to have 5 children and have one parent like barely be able to just open their eyes, he really had to step up, and he did that. So shout out, boo, I love you. Shout out to you. I had savory, spicy, and sour cravings. I did not want anything sweet outside of cranberry juice. I really, really, really wanted cranberry juice, and I drank a lot of cranberry juice in my pregnancy all the way up until I couldn't anymore because of the heartburn, which was closer to like 30 weeks. But I did not want anything sweet. And with my girls, I wanted candy, I wanted brownies, I wanted cookies, I wanted ice cream. It was just a very, very sweet pregnancies, but not this one. I was very thirsty. I had very dry lips. Those may have been because of my diabetes. Diabetes can cause that. I'm not sure, but that was different than with my girls. I had acne on my upper body, including my chin, but just not my face. So with both pregnancies, with boys and girls, I never got acne on my face. But this body acne, I didn't know nothing about that life until this last pregnancy. And I was like, my pregnancy with my boy, I was like, what the heck is this? I did not like it. I did not like that. My skin was very sensitive. And like I said, very dry, very itchy. It was very hard for me to maintain my diabetes. Now, let me say this though. This wasn't my first time having diabetes in pregnancy. And so studies show that the more that you have gestational diabetes during your pregnancies, with each one, it gets a little bit worse and a little harder to maintain. So with my 5th pregnancy, when I was pregnant with my 5th child, dieting no longer worked, and I had to start using insulin. So definitely had to use insulin with this pregnancy, and I was ready for it. Did what I had to do. It was what it was. So yeah, it was very hard to maintain. So I don't know if it was because it was a different gender or just because I've had diabetes in prior pregnancies. My body was not absorbing iron supplements at all. My iron was so low. We tried everything through diet, supplements, wasn't working. The only thing that worked for me was infusions. This was my first pregnancy ever having infusions done. Luckily, I did not have to have I did not have to receive blood, but I did have 3 infusions and they were life-changing. Let me just say that. I'm trying to get those on a regular, because it is like definitely life-changing. And for Black people, we have low iron anyway. So I advise everybody, if your insurance will cover it or if you can afford it, go get iron infusions. Life-changing. I probably need one right now. Probably would change my life. Maybe I wouldn't be so tired. And the last thing that I experienced that was different was I had slow weight gain. So with my girls, I gained my weight like once I hit maybe like between 12 and 15 weeks, I gained weight really fast, and then all the way through the pregnancy. With this pregnancy, I gained weight really slowly, but I gained it because I was like 215 pounds the day that I gave birth. So I gained it, but it was like literally all at the end for me. Yeah, and those were the differences in pregnancy. So that is it for this video, guys. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video, please like and share. If you are not subscribed, please do so. Hit the notification bell so that you are notified every time I upload a new video. I appreciate you guys. Make sure to drop a comment below. Introduce yourself if you're new. If you're not new, just say hey. I haven't heard from a lot of y'all in a while. So I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.